Thinking of selling your car in California and feeling totally overwhelmed by the paperwork? Well, you're definitely not alone. Stick around because we're going to learn exactly how to fill out that car title like an absolute pro, and more importantly, how to avoid some really costly mistakes. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep breath and completely demystifying the California DMV process together. We're going to make sure your vehicle transaction is incredibly smooth and, of course, legally rock solid. All right, let's dive straight into our roadmap for today. We'll start off with title basics and prep, then jump right into a step-by-step walkthrough. After that, we'll cover handling special scenarios, move on to final steps and tips, and finally wrap things up with an important legal disclaimer. Let's get to it. Section 1, Title Basics and Prep. Getting ready for a smooth sale. So the California Certificate of Title, you probably know it as the classic pink slip. This piece of paper is your ultimate proof of legal ownership. Before a single drop of ink touches this paper, let's look at what's actually on it. You've got your name, your address, the VIN, the year, make, and model, plus the odometer mileage and lien holder details. Now, this isn't just some receipt. It's a strict legal instrument under the California Vehicle Code. Making sure the info here is perfectly accurate, that is literally the foundation of a legal sale. Now, if you want to execute a private party sale without the massive headache, we need to build a prep checklist. Gathering these documents first completely removes the anxiety of scrambling later. You're going to need the original title, valid IDs that exactly match the printed names, a recent smog certification if the car is over 4 years old, the current odometer reading, and, if you finance the car, your loan payoff information. Trust me, getting all this together beforehand makes the actual signing a total breeze. Okay, so here is absolutely the most crucial point. Do not make mistakes on this document. The California DMV is incredibly strict here. They explicitly warn that the incorrect title must not be defaced, corrected, or have any attempt to correct it. What does that mean for us? No whiteout, no scribbling out a typo, no erasing. Nothing. Doing any of that can instantly void the title and force you to apply for a replacement, which completely stalls your sale. So take your time and tread carefully. Section 2. Step-by-step walkthrough. Signing the dotted line. All right, this is the main event of our explainer. Go ahead and grab a pen. Look right at the top front of the title. This is where you, the seller, officially release your ownership interest. For Step 1, on line 1A, you'll print your full legal name exactly as it appears on the title, then sign it and date it. Step 2, if there's a co-owner listed, they do the exact same thing right below on line 1B. And Step 3, which is super important, everything must be done by hand. You have to use clear, legible handwriting and stick to blue or black ink only. Right below that, or maybe in a designated section on the front, depending on what year your title was printed, is the odometer disclosure. You absolutely must record the exact mileage here. Federal and state laws actually require this disclosure for any vehicle under 20 model years old. And remember, both the seller and the buyer need to sign to acknowledge this number. It protects both of you and ensures total transparency about how much the vehicle has been used. All right, now let's flip that title over. This reverse side is essentially the buyer's application for new registration. The buyer's going to fill out their true full name on lines 3A and 3B and their physical address and county on lines 4 and 5. But here is what's really interesting. Take a look at line 6B. This is the stated purchase price, and it directly determines the California use tax the buyer is going to pay. That tax ranges anywhere from 7.25% up to 10.25%, depending on their county. Finally, lines 9A and 9B are where the buyers actually sign and list their driver's license numbers to legally bind the whole application. Section 3, Handling Special Scenarios, Roadblocks, and How to Navigate Them. So let's look at a super common scenario, co-owners. You need to look really closely at how the names are joined on the front of the title. If the names are joined by the word "and," this establishes joint tenancy. That means you absolutely need signatures from all listed owners to transfer the title. But if the names are joined by or even just a slash mark, it only requires a signature from one listed owner to legally sell the car. It's kind of crazy, right? That is a massive legal difference based on just one tiny little word. Now, what if you've lost the pink slip entirely? Well, don't panic. Demystifying this is actually pretty simple. You're going to need Form REG 227, which is the application for replacement or transfer of title. Both the buyer and the seller must complete this form to officially declare the title lost and transfer the ownership at the exact same time. One quick note though, if the car is 2 model years old or less and it has a recorded lien holder, you can't use this form. In that case, you have to go directly through the lien holder to get a replacement. Sometimes you literally just run out of room on the title, or you might need a separate odometer disclosure because the vehicle was sold more than once with the exact same title. That is exactly where Form Reg 262 comes in. It acts as a bill of sale and an odometer disclosure all combined into one. But here is a big warning. You can't just print this thing at home. It's printed on secure, federal compliant paper. You literally have to call the DMV and have it mailed to you. So definitely plan ahead for that one.
What if you're selling a car with a past loan? Well, if your title still shows a bank or finance company as the legal owner, you cannot just sign it over. You have to prove the loan is fully paid off. You do this by either having the lien holder sign the designated release section right on the title itself, or by providing a notarized lien-satisfied/title holder release, which is known as Form Reg 166. Without official proof that the bank has released their interest, the buyer simply cannot register the car. No way around it.
Section 4, Final Steps and Tips. Sealing the deal safely.
Okay, take a look at these strict DMV timelines because this brilliantly illustrates how fast things move. The clock starts ticking the exact moment the buyer drives away on day 0. As the seller, you have just 5 calendar days to file the notice of transfer. Meanwhile, the buyer has 10 days to actually get down to the DMV, register the vehicle in their name, and pay their transfer fees. Let's talk a bit more about that 5-day deadline for the seller. You absolutely must submit the Notice of Transfer and Release of Liability, also known as Reg 13.8. The great news is you can easily do it online. Now imagine this. The buyer drives off and gets a red light camera ticket tomorrow, or worse, abandons the car on the side of the highway. If you haven't filed this form, the state still thinks you own the car, and guess who gets the fines in the mail? You do. Filing this online immediately shields you from all of that future liability. Please, whatever you do not skip this step.
All right, let's do some rapid-fire best practices to wrap this section up. First, always take clear photos or photocopies of the fully signed title and all the forms before you hand them over to the buyer. Keep those for your records. Second, just so you know, the baseline transfer fee is just $15, which is paid by the buyer along with that use tax we talked about earlier. And finally, this is a big one for California, standard sequentially issued license plates actually stay with the vehicle. Do not take them off. You only remove the plates if they are special interest or personalized.
Section 5. Important legal disclaimer. Staying informed. Before we go, please remember that the information provided in this explainer is for educational purposes only. Every single transaction can have its own unique details and quirks, so as viewers, you should always consult with a legal expert or the California DMV directly to get personalized advice for your specific situation.
Well, there you have it. Now that you've mastered the paperwork and know exactly how to fill out a California car title like an absolute pro, you're completely ready for a stress-free sale. So it leaves me with just one question. What's your next dream vehicle? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy driving out there.